What's up, guys? Welcome to today's Mic to Mind. And today I'm talking about a social phenomenon. So, first question, have you ever noticed that in China and in many parts of Asia, some random Western lifestyle items suddenly become symbols of being middle class? Like one day it's just a water bottle, the next day it's a Stanley Cup, and so somehow it means you're healthy, athletic, organized, and living a better lifestyle. So one day it's just a hoodie, the next day is a Lululemon Scuba, and it becomes a sign that you're part of the clean, the expensive, the international lifestyle. So to be honest, I think this phenomenon is kind of awkward and also a little goofy. But before I start, I want to make one thing clear. This video is not saying Western culture is bad. It is also not saying people should not buy Stanley, Lululemon, eat salad, drink coffees, go to playlists, or enjoy any lifestyle they want. The cultural exchange is normal. People can like whatever they like. But I wanted to talk about is something more specific, the way some people copy a white-coated Western middle-class lifestyle without really understanding its meaning, and then use it as a sample of class, as taste, as superiority. The problem the problem is not just the product itself, the problem is the meaning people attach to it. A Stanley Cup is not just a cup anymore, it becomes a social badge. A little lemon jacket is not just clothing anymore, it becomes proof that you're living a better lifestyle. A salad bar is not just food anymore, it becomes a sign that you're modern, you're healthy, you're refined. And this is where it starts to get really interesting because in many Asian cultures, especially China, the traditional diet is already very rich, complex, and balanced in its own way. Chinese food culture has soups, vegetables, grains, noodles, rice, fermented foods, tea, and a long history of thinking about balance. So now some people act like eating cold salad with cheese, drinking iced coffee, or carrying in a huge water bottle is naturally and automatically considered as more healthy or more advanced. So that does not mean that it is bad. It means we should ask, why do people treat imported habits as more valuable than the local ones? So, for example, when people imitate the clean girl aesthetic, the pilot's girl lifestyle, the morning coffee and salad routine, or the minimalist home style, they are just not always doing it because it truly fits their life or they really like it. Sometimes they're doing it because social media has taught them that this lifestyle looks more expensive and more international and more upper class. So, in other words, lifestyle becomes performance. People are not just drinking water, they're performing wellness. They're not just wearing clothes, they are performing class. And they're not just eating food, they're performing a certain type of identity. And this identity, is often connected to a white, Western middle class image. Well, again, this does not mean that every person who uses these products is fake or goofy. Well, some people generally like them, and that is completely fine. But as a social trend, it shows something deeper. Many people are anxious about the status, so they want to look like they belong to a global middle class. They want their daily life to look clean, to be organized, to look upper. So social media makes this even stronger. On platforms like TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, normal life becomes something to display. Your breakfast, your outfit, your water bottle, your gym routine, your desk setup, and even your fridge can become part of the personal brand. So people start to think if I buy some, I so people start to think if I buy some things so people start to think, if I buy the same things, eat the same food, and copy the same habits, maybe I can also become the kind of person. But the problem is copying the image does not always mean understanding the culture. For example, in America, brands like Stanley or Lululemon have their own social background. They are connected to they're connected they're connected to suburban life, to fitness culture, to the consumer culture, and a certain type of middle class identity. But when these products enter China or other Asian countries, many people only copy the surface. They see the bottle, the hoodie, the salad, the pilot's class, the clean kitchen and the lifestyle vlog, but they may not understand the social context behind it actually. And this is why it can feel awkward because people are not really adapting the cultural deeply. They're collecting samples. They're building an image of I am modern or I'm high class through the objects. It also creates a weird hierarchy. And it also creates a weird hierarchy. Local habits can start to look less fashionable. Traditional food can be seen as too oily, too heavy, or not aesthetic enough. Well, local clothing or daily routines can be seen as less refined. Meanwhile, Western coded products are seen as cleaner, as healthier, or more elegant. And that is the problem. Because when people automatically treat Western lifestyles as better, it can reveal insecurity about their own culture. It can also show powerful Western beauty standards and lifestyle standards still are in many. Because when people automatically treat Western lifestyles as better, it can reveal insecurity about their own culture. It can also show how powerful Western beauty standards and lifestyle standards still are in many Asian countries. So that is not just about a bottle, it's more about the cultural value. Why does one object suddenly make someone look more middle class? And why does one type of food look more healthy on camera than another? So why does one lifestyle seem more advanced, it seem more upper, uh, even when it may not fit the local culture at all? I think one, I think one reason is class anxiety. In modern China, many young people are under pressure to prove that they are successful, they are educated, and tasteful, and global. But success is not always easy to show. So people use visible samples, brands become shortcuts. A little lemon hoodie, a Stanley cup, a matcha latte, Palates membership, or a clean apartment can all become signs that say, look, I'm actually having a good life right now. But sometimes this good life is more about appearance than reality. You may not actually feel healthy. You may not actually feel relaxed. You may not actually have financial freedom. But if your life looks like the lifestyle you see online that you're trying to imitate it, then maybe it feels like you're getting closer to it. So this is what makes this phenomenon both funny and kind of bad. So this is why so that is why it makes this phenomenon both funny and kind of sad. It is funny because at the end of the day, we are talking about cups, hoodies, salads, and lifestyle vlogs. But it is sad because it shows how people are often chasing an image that may not even belong to them. And I think the most important question is, are people choosing these things because they truly like them or because they have been taught that these things look more valuable? There's a big difference. If you generally like Lululemon because it's comfortable, it is fine. If you generally like salad because you enjoy the taste, that is fine. If you use Stanley cup or Stanley water bottle because it's useful, that's also fine. But if people start believing that these things make them more civilized, more tasteful, or more superior than others, then we need to change that. Because culture should not just be copied like a costume. Real cultural exchange means understanding the context. It means knowing why something exists, where it comes from, and how it fits into people's lives. But what we often see online is not real cultural exchange at all. It is aesthetic consumption. People consume the look, but not the meaning. And that is why these brands feel so strange. And that is why this trend feels so strange. It is not simply Western influence. Western influence has existed. Western influence has existed. And that is why the trend feels so strange. It is not simply Western influence anymore. Western influence has existed for a long time. The new part is how social media turns Western coded middle class life into a template that people can copy. And it gives people a checklist. Buy this bottle. Well, wear this brand. Eat this food. And just decorate your room like this. So take photos like this, and then you will look that you have a better lifestyle, that you look like you are superior than others. But life is not a checklist, and costume is not a shopping, and culture is not a shopping cart. So maybe instead of asking, how can I copy this lifestyle, we should ask ourselves, why do I want this lifestyle in the first place? Well, do I actually like it? Does it fit my life? And does it make me feel better? Or am I just trying to prove something to other people? Well, because there's nothing wrong with enjoying Western products, but there is something wrong when people forget the value of their own culture and then blindly worship anything that looks Western, white coded or middle class. So at the end of the day, the Stanley Cup is just a cup, the hoodie is just a hoodie, the salad is just a salad. The real issue is not the object, the real issue is the desire behind it. And maybe that desire tells us more about society than the products themselves ever could.